Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris at Small Circle. Just wanted to make this disclaimer real quick before we get started. Everything I said. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris at Small Circle, and I have
Jason, Small Circle, head coach of the Small Circle squad.
yes, sir. Those that don't know, this is my son. Just to do a little recap of 2024. We started off at a really good year. I was starting to do mobile podcasts. Shout out to Anthony and Vintage Cuts over there for setting it up. I interviewed a lot of people and everything like that, and I was going to continue with that. And then, life happened. I got real busy at work. And then Burrow happened, and then the biggest hit that happened to me in July, or happened to us in July, is my dad passed away. And I thought about giving it up and everything like that, whatever. And right before the new year, everybody was talking, the family was talking and everything. It was like, man, we should do the podcast again. I was like, I don't know, it's really not that much, no interest in it and everything like that or whatever. And then I started thinking, my dad, he was one of my biggest fans. He'd always text me, whatever, say after every episode, hey, son, I really like the episode, have you reached out to this person? And he would always, beg people to, or mention to people to come on my podcast and stuff. And just, so with that being said, or whatever, I figured, give it another run. Jason, he said he wants to do it with me, so here we are, so to RIP to the EMCOG, man. Miss him every day. But anyway, moving on. We're just going to hit a few topics, whatever, we're still, it's still as normal, small circle, support local, all that and everything like that. But, we're just, me being in the Zapata family, we'd like to sit, when we're eating dinner, when we come up with different topics and everything like that, and we talk about them and all this stuff and everything like that, or whatever, and they, just brought up they had a good idea of like, look, it doesn't always have to be about local. Yeah, you can promote local, but, just, you can talk about other things, stuff like that, whatever, and so, I kind of took it up on that. We were talking one evening about the Forbes 2024 top 50 rappers, not of 2024, but top 50 rappers of all time. Yeah, whatever. I got the list right here. We were going to get into that. And we had a couple other topics that we wanted to talk about and stuff, but we'll mention that at the end of the podcast and stuff, whatever. I'm a very big, rapper, hip hop head. So this list really bugged the shit out of me. So I dug a little deeper. I like I said, I brought it up to Jason, brought it up to the family, and all that stuff, or whatever. Just I'm gonna go through the list real quick, and then we'll. What do you think, Jay? We'll just go through the list and stop, whatever. Maybe take 10, 15 seconds to talk about some of the people.
Right. Yeah, I think just go through the list, just kind of real quick what they did. Just kind of be like, this person kind of made this in the rap game popular, or this person shouldn't be on the list. This person should be higher, or this person should be maybe a little bit lower.
Right.
But yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just want to kind of skim through, be like, that's respectable. This person did a lot for the game, or they don't need to be on here.
Right, because there's some people on here that I don't even know, or like I might know a song, right? Yeah. And I know that you do know them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I want to get your opinion on them. Yeah. And there's some people on here or whatever that, bridge the gap between us. You know what I'm saying? There's people on here or whatever that I had listened to, and that kind of and like I'd be in the car or whatever, like that, whatever, and you heard it, whatever, and you were like, oh man, I like that song, and so now all of us, he's on your playlist, whatever.
Yeah, I mean the list is definitely a lot of 80s and 90s,
right?
A couple guys from the 70s. So that's not my style, not what I listen to. I'm more of the 2000s and up kind of guy, but it's still interesting to see, like this list, just kind of see, what they did for the game and everything that you know about it as well.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so we're going to start on the list. First and foremost, the lady that made this list, this Forbes 2024 top 50 rappers, they picked the wrong person to make the list. She's like 25 years old, max, like that, right? I'm gonna go through this list, but just by looking at the list, or if you can look it up online, whatever, it's clearly her playlist. It's biased. It's clearly her playlist, and some of the people that she has them rated on, or their rating, it's totally disrespectful, and I'm thinking about writing a strongly worded letter. But anyway, all right. So starting at number 50, we have Talib Kweli. Kweli, right? He's a New York native. If you're in New York, you're gonna want him on this list. I think he should be on this list, but I think he should be rated a little higher. Especially, he should be right next to Mos Def, because them two were in a group together called Black Star. So okay, let's see. Next, Young Thug. The only thing I know about Young Thug is that he's on trial for, a RICO case or whatever. Jason, you want to shed some light on Young Thug for a minute?
Young Thug, definitely one of the guys to introduce mumble rap, that real high pitch kind of rapping with auto tune and stuff like that. Actually, not on trial anymore. That guy will no longer be making music. He's on probation, and he is not allowed to promote any type of gang violence, guns, shootings, drugs, none of that. That's his only way to be free.
Wow.
Yeah. So
dang.
Everybody chanting free Young Thug. Y'all got what y'all wanted, but no more music. Sorry.
No more music. What would do you think he deserves to be on this list?
I think there's a lot of other guys that could be on the list over Young Thug. I like him. I don't listen to a lot of them, but yeah, maybe not top 50. I think there's definitely at least like 25 guys that you can find to fill in for.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Okay. 48, Cardi B. I don't think she deserves to be on this list.
I don't think so either. I think she did a lot for I think she did quite a bit for the Latin community, but I don't think she's huge on I don't think her lyricism is really that big.
Right, exactly.
It's not that great.
Right,
That's all
yeah.
I gotta say about it.
I don't think she's done anything new, to where there's other women, that done before. Yeah. 47 is Chief Keef. Again, I don't have no clue on who this guy is, or
kind of came out of Chicago, made trap music, just making music about gang violence, drugs, stuff like that.
And he's deceased, right? He's dead, or no?
I think he's still alive.
Is he?
Okay. I'm pretty sure. Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still alive. He doesn't really release, at least not that I know of. I don't listen to him. A lot of guys that like that trap music, they will, and they like it. They just like the way he sounds and stuff like that. I mean, it's good to kind of just listen to me, throw it on at a party or something, but not something I'd listen to.
I got you. Pusha T, he's a solid MC. Been around for about 20 years, roughly. He's definitely on my top 10, and he should be on y'all's guys' top 10 too. He can go toe to toe with anybody on a microphone, hands down. 46 is disrespectful to that guy. 45, MIA. Maybe I've heard Paper Airplanes. That's really about it.
That's the only. That's what the article said. It was like she has paper planes.
That
was about it.
That's what I'm saying.
It really didn't say what she did for the rap game.
Right.
It didn't say any of that. It just said, oh yeah, she has a big hit called Paper Planes.
Right.
That doesn't solidify you as a top 50.
Right. Yeah. See, the article starts getting into it almost talks about her personal pick. Mm-hmm. No, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, because like I said, that's just one song. The next one here is Takeoff from Migos. That's if you're gonna put anybody from Migos on there, it's not gonna be Takeoff. It's either gonna be Quavo or Offset, right? Which, to be honest with you, I don't even think three of them should be on top 50.
I don't think
at all.
Solo, they should be on the list. If there was a separate group list,
right. Yeah.
I think they're definitely up there in the top 10.
Yeah,
there's a lot of more groups that you can think of. Yeah. You got your bigger groups like NWA. Nerd,
yeah, right. Yeah, UGK. Like right. Yeah, it was a 3-6 Mafia. Yeah. And we can do another one because I want to do that too. Groups and stuff, whatever. Well, I want to rate groups too. 43, we got Melly Mel. Melly Mel is the innovator of hip hop. Furious 5, Grandmaster Flash. There wouldn't be a list without this guy here. So he's definitely got to be on there. I think he's probably rated right just because, he's just been in the game for so long. You know what I mean? And rap has elevated for it's the evolution.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
you know what I mean. It's gotten
whenever
bigger.
you're a guy that's starting the rap game,
Yeah.
like it's really hard for you to uh, and you stop rapping after 10, 20 years, so like that. So obviously other rappers, newer rappers, are gonna come in, they're gonna take your flow but make it sound better. So
Right.
it's really, I think he definitely innovated the rap game, but it's really hard for him to stay on there whenever there's other guys replicating it with this newer beats, newer flows and stuff like that as well.
I got you. Okay, let's see who's next on the list. Prodigy, very solid. Again, if you're a New York native, he was in a group called Mobb Deep. Um, he's deceased now, but if you're from New York, you're gonna have Prodigy, in your top 10, whatever. I think 42 is a little high for him. Or a little low for him, I guess. Whatever, I think he needs to be up in the teens or whatever, maybe top 20, whatever. 41 is Lupe Fiasco. This is one of those guys that's like bridged the gap. He kind of came in, whatever, later in the game, whatever, and I remember you guys liking him, whatever and stuff.
Little. Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys that's like, you hear his name, and you're like, who is that? And then you play that, you play one of his songs like Superstar or the Kanye song that Touch the Sky.
Yeah, Touch the Sky. Yeah.
You're like, oh man, like this kid, like.
Like Music Saved My Life.
Yeah,
like it was like almost a breath of fresh air,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, number 40 is Bad Bunny. I don't think he deserves to be on this list. I don't think they were just kind of doing like a, what I'm saying, hey, we got to put somebody Latin on this list.
Yeah, right.
I'm not saying that he's not big. I mean, he's obviously big, right?
I mean, that's like saying like Drake doesn't deserve to be in like a worldwide music list, because he's like the most streamed rapper worldwide, and Bad Bunny. Whenever you get to like other countries, he's just number one on every single billboard and like Latin and stuff like that. So I mean, it is really hard for it's kind of hard to place him on here because he only raps in Spanish. He's like he literally knows like barely any English.
Right.
So unless you speak Spanish, you don't know what his lyrics mean. And but I mean, I like his flow. It's from what I've heard.
Yeah.
His hits are good. His flow is good. But yeah, it's hard to make a list whenever it's rapping in a completely different language. But I believe he's the only one on this list that actually raps. Is the only American, or not American, but I guess the only rapper that doesn't rap in English.
Right. Okay. So anyway, so we got Method Man at 39, part of the Wu-Tang Clan. But he ended up going solo, whatever, like most of them ended up doing. Method Man, that's another great one. Top 15, top 10, top 15 person, on your list. Whatever, he's just got witty rhymes. His metaphors are there. It's great. I think he's 39. It's a little disrespectful. Same thing for this guy, E40 at 38. I mean, it's just the guy had his own dictionary, to be honest. You know what I mean? He came up with so many words and stuff, whatever. I think he's on his like 15th album or something like that. Dude's crazy. He's always putting in work. I mean, is every one of his albums a banger? You know what I'm saying? Probably not. But I mean, you really can't take away from what he did to the game, whatever. But let's see here. What else we got? 37, Rock Marciano. Rock Marciano is part of the Griselda. He's new to the scene. He's part of the Griselda family. I think Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, they should be over that guy. I don't even think this guy should be on the list. Not saying he's not good. Right. I just don't think he's been around long enough to be on this list, like at all. 50, right? Top 50 at all.
We'll come across a few more guys that are like that. They haven't been around long enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're gonna see it a lot. It's hard. It's gonna be hard to make a top 50. That's for sure. Because I mean, you got so many rappers. Like thousands of rappers, and you want to throw in everybody. And I'm sure if me and you, like went separated, made our own top 50, we'd probably come back, and we'd probably be changing each other's lists. Like, I'd see some of your guys, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'd scratch out a few, and I'd be like, yeah, they're better than this guy. And and you'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then we'd go make separate lists again, and it would just be a complete cycle. And it would be hard to argue, like, unless you go down to unless you go like all the way down to the streams, to just whoever gets more streams, and then that would make your top 50. But if that was the case, then like Bad Bunny would be like number one,
Right, exactly.
like so
Yeah.
it's hard to find that.
Yeah, no, yeah, I hear that. I just don't think he should
No,
be
yeah, that's
higher
for
than,
sure.
he's rated definitely wrong because
Yeah.
he shouldn't be higher than Method Man or Lupe Fiasco or anybody like that. 36, MC Light, I mean, she's a female artist or whatever. I don't think she deserves to be top 50. I don't even think she deserves to be on this list. Let's see, 35 is the one that actually, this is what caused me to bring up this topic. Is at 35 they have LL Cool J at 35. Now that's just total disrespect, man, to the innovator. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he has an album called The GOAT for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, half of these people wouldn't even be on this list if it was not for LL Cool J. The lady that made this list, if you're watching, that's totally disrespectful to Cool James. He needs to be a lot higher than what you have him on his list.
And like we said with LL Cool J, I mean, in order to solidify yourself as, basically the GOAT, is you can make anything that anyone can listen to. And that was the big thing that we talked about,
Right.
like he makes stuff for the guys, makes stuff for the ladies, makes stuff, like catchy stuff that kids listen to, but they don't even know what he's saying,
Right.
That, that's like, and just to be at 35, but after putting that much of an impact on the game,
Yeah.
especially like after the next people that we're gonna see on here, he should be probably bumped up to like probably at least 10. I'd say.
Yeah, I would say top 10 for sure. All right, 34 is Childish Gambino. I like Childish Gambino. I think he's probably right where he needs to be. 30s, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm not mad at that one.
I think he could be above a few other guys. Maybe replace
100%.
a few people on here.
Yeah,
same thing. I like his flow. I like his lyricism and stuff like that. It gets a little controversial with some of his music and stuff like that, but he doesn't get too much into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just a talented guy all around.
Right.
I say, you can just break into his other careers, like he's an actor, he's
right.
a comedian, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it seems like, and he kind of like brings that stuff into his music.
Yeah.
The stuff he says is like, oh, that's funny, or like, and he likes to. He wants to make short films based off of just the music that he's making and stuff. So he's definitely telling a story.
Yeah, and it's like you said about LL Cool J. Like he makes songs for men, he makes songs for the ladies, and all that stuff like that too. So, I think he definitely deserves to be on this list. I'm saying number 33, Future. I don't really care for Future. I don't think he deserves to be on this list. You might feel a little differently, but I don't.
I think if he's gonna be on the list, it's just like right at 50.
Right, 49, 50, something like that or whatever.
But I say if this was my own opinion, just people that I strictly listen to, it'd probably be a little bit higher because I don't listen to, I really don't listen to like half the people on this list.
Yeah,
I've heard of them, I've heard a few of their hits and stuff like that, but I don't listen to them like that, like you do. But but then again, even if I was listing off some of my greatest rappers and stuff, he would probably be named a little bit later. Like he would be one of the last rappers I name when I'm running out of ideas.
Yeah, I never got into the auto-tune era.
Yeah,
like what I'm saying? Yeah. Shit, like whenever Kanye did his thing with the auto-tune, and Lil Wayne did his shit with those auto-tune stuff, got on my nerves. Whatever. I kind of skipped that whole era. So I guess maybe that's why I don't like him. Care for him, but. It is what it is. Whatever. Okay, I respect that. Probably, top 50, but late 50s.
Yeah.
Definitely shouldn't be rated higher than, any of these other guys,
if they did 100 or so, I could see him on there, but maybe not a 50.
Right, yeah, I got you. Okay, 32, they got Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes, he's an OG in this game. One of the fast rappers, that, to do it. Very wild, very live, very energetic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Makes hit after hit, whatever. And I think they got him about right.
Yeah.
On this list too.
If he's gonna be any higher, it would only be by a few spots.
Right. Exactly.
And, just because he's good, like you said, he's fast rap, all that stuff like that. But I mean, there's definitely guys better.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Definitely like this guy, 31, Mos Def. And I said I would put Talib Kweli, and then Mos Def just right above him. You know what I mean? Whatever. So, and I think they got him about right, too. Queen Latifah, I mean, just because of what she's done for women and rappers in this, whatever, I have her on the list. I would have her on the list, but I would have her at, 50, 49, something like that. Right, exactly.
Just because she's good. She did a lot of stuff for the ladies, but there's not a whole lot.
Right.
Like, but the other people on this list are definitely better in comparison.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so at 29 we got Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, it gets kind of controversial about Dr. Dre. Yeah, he's a rapper, but I see him more as a producer. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I would definitely have. I mean, I wouldn't have him. I wouldn't say I wouldn't have him on the list. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't know. I would probably go as far as not having him on this list.
Yeah,
and have more on a producer side.
I don't really know his rap like that. I've really only known his production and stuff like that. Yeah. And we talked about that. Producers, that's a whole other story. We had tons of guys that we could probably throw on. I think we could make a top 10. If we did producers. And, you'd see better guys like Pharrell and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's definitely one of the top producers, and he did take over like in the early '90s or whatever with rap, with the Chronic, whatever and all that stuff and everything like that. I mean, there wasn't a person that there wasn't a person I knew that didn't have that tape, or the CD, whatever it was at the time. Anyway, okay, number 28 is Lauryn Hill. Yeah, I wouldn't even necessarily consider her a rapper either. Yeah. Just because she does more singing.
It's like
R&B.
You know what I mean?
All that. Yeah, it's like R&B shit. Whatever. I don't think she deserves to be on this list. Definitely. Definitely not rated above it. Higher than any of these people on here. You know what I mean? 27 is Juice WRLD. I particularly don't know him.
Yeah. Right.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying? I've heard a little bit of his stuff, whatever. I'm not a fan. This is more for like your era.
Yeah, this is my era.
Yeah.
Definitely got into him, and I'd say probably late middle school or high school. He was probably around. I believe he passed in 2020 from an overdose and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, and that's what he rapped about too. It was a lot about like drugs, lean, weed, stuff like that, pills and all that. But it was good. It was catchy. You could probably tell that it was like a little bit of auto-tune here and there, but really not a lot to where it makes you not want to listen to it. I'd put him more on maybe not on the top rappers list. I like his lyricism, I like his flow. If you've heard some of his freestyles, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I already know your opinion about freestyles and stuff. But I mean, you also, I'd probably throw him on a top 50, top 25 R&B.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, R&B, singers, stuff like that. Because I like, he's got a pretty good voice too. But I mean, just from what he did in the span of only being in the game for that many years, and he's kind of just a guy that released a song on a SoundCloud, and then it all of a sudden just blew up, and then just fame for about 3 to 4 years until he OD'd, and then. But yeah, I mean, just from what he did in that span of time, I think I don't think it should be that high, but I think it's respectable to put him on the list.
Okay, so it's almost kind of like a. And it's probably strong words, but like a Tupac or a Notorious B.I.G. Just came blazing on the scene or whatever, whatever.
Not as big.
And did so much, whatever, at a short little amount of time.
If you're doing top rappers of just my era, 2015 to 2010 to 2020, then he's definitely going to be in there. But I mean, all time, I'd probably put him in the top 100. If it was R&B, I'd say 50s.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I respect that. 26, MF Doom. I really feel like the only reason why he's on this list is because he passed away. You know what I mean? Whatever. Then nobody really even ever heard of MF Doom, whatever, until he passed away. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden he blew up, and then now he's on the top 50. I wouldn't put him top 50.
People my age, they listen to MF Doom because they think that they're listening to 90s gangster rap and stuff that, and I'm so different, this and that, whatever. Go listen to MF Doom's couple albums. Yeah. You're gonna find 3 good songs on each.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He's not that good. His lyricism, his flow gets lost in his music. Mm-hmm. He's not going with the beat. Right. He's not always rhyming on every word and stuff like that. But that's just from what I've heard. I've tried to listen to him. I've tried to just press shuffle, try to go through his albums. I just couldn't find anything I liked.
I mean, it was definitely different when he came out.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
whatever.
Could tell he was trying to do his own wordplay and stuff like that,
yeah.
But it just wasn't fitting into anyone's style until he did pass away. I mean, if you think different, if you think that he's really that good, you think that there's, 10 songs that we should listen to or something, that'll change our mind, then, go ahead, comment it down below.
Absolutely.
Let us know. I say,
Yeah.
just let us know, and then we'll definitely give it a list. We're always open for opinions and everything like that around here. So
Yeah, for sure. Okay, number 25. We're starting to get to the good stuff. Whatever I have, they have Ice Cube on there. Ice Cube, yeah, you know what I mean. I think so. I think it should be, at least top 25. You know what I'm saying? I would probably maybe some people would put him on the top 10.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Whatever. I mean, he's a good storyteller. His delivery's solid. Whatever his lyrical wise or whatever. Pretty much carried NWA.
lot for gangster rap as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, he's just been after. He's been in a couple of groups. All that whatever. So, had a great solo career too. Whatever. Yeah. So him for sure. 24 is 50 Cent. 50 Cent's another one, man. Just came blazing on the scene. All this whatever. I mean, talking shit about so many people, man. He just really he just didn't care like at all. You know what I mean? He definitely deserves to be on this list for sure. He kind of fell off, whatever, after he got away from Dr. Dre and all that stuff like that. He kind of fell off a little bit, whatever, but just the first couple of albums that he put out, whatever, just kind of solidified him, especially his debut album. They're still playing those songs when it's 20 years later,
man.
Whatever. And he's done so much, whatever, too, since then, whatever, acting wise and stuff like that, or whatever. 23, DMX. Now, DMX, I think, is probably it should be in the top 10 list of anybody's list, not just because he died or anything like that, whatever, but man, this guy, he was special, man. He really was. He was special for sure. He's very different. All that, whatever, the growling that he did or whatever and stuff when he came on stage, just awesome.
Yeah, man, very sad to see him go. Fortunately for us, it seems like he was, already stepping away from the music scene.
Yeah.
He didn't have too much that he was, still had to release or everything like that. So with him, it wasn't like one of those guys that like passed before we could see his full potential.
Right.
Like you saw everything he did before he passed away,
right.
And that's and that definitely solidifies yourself in that spot because you never know with some of these other guys like. Like they may that their debut album may only be what they got, and then they passed before they could make stinkers, or maybe they passed before they could have solidified themselves as number one.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah. Hey. All right. 22 is Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane. He's one of those innovators and stuff. Whatever. That's smooth rappers. Came out in the 80s and stuff. I think he deserves to be on this list for sure. Maybe rated a little bit higher, especially this next guy. These two really kind of go hand in hand. Whatever, they both came out at the same time. This is Rakim at 21. A lot of people would put him on their top 5, top 10, whatever. If you're from New York, for sure, it's definite. You know what I mean? He just came out with some different type of cadence and everything like that and stuff, whatever. And just. I just really like his delivery, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, his cadence, his lyrics too, like that, whatever. So he definitely should be on this list. 20 is Common. I like Common. I don't think he should be on the top 50, but that's just my opinion. He's kind of one of those like he would give like that awareness rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever, like, hey, what's going on? Look this way over here. Yeah. What this is happening over here and all that stuff like that. Whatever, I said his music's good. There's so many people more or whatever. Me personally, I would put ahead of him. Right. 19 is Ghostface Killah from the Wu-Tang. I would probably switch him and Method Man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Put Method Man a little bit closer.
Yeah,
whatever.
Ghostface, he made a little bit more stuff recently. He was he kind of like collabed with some of the newer rappers and stuff like that as well, trying to help them out, trying to get their name in the game and stuff like that. So him being around a little bit longer may be what maybe solidified him there. But either way, I say it just comes down to what you've come out with. Just song for song, what's better.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Number 18 is Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is definitely deserves to be on this list, right? And I don't know. Probably I think they got him rated right. A lot of people, would probably think that that's just disrespectful and probably needs to be like top 10 or whatever. But
I think
it's good.
I think as long as he's in the 25s and below and stuff like that, I think that's fairly rated and stuff like that. I don't listen to him, but I can name a few songs off him, just from what he did.
Like, just, I mean, for him to be in the game for 30 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? That's I mean, that's deserving for sure.
I think people's like personalities and stuff like that also, can make yourself, look a
Yeah,
little bit better.
right,
I mean, like, dude, this dude's just like, pretty all around cool dude, like, just from what he's still, he's still active on social media. He doesn't really, he's not really making too much music anymore or whatever like that. But I mean, he doesn't need to. He came out with what he needed to and stuff like that. So there's no reason. Actually, he did just drop an album, didn't he?
Yeah, him and Dr. Dre. They dropped like kind of like a live album, whatever. I listened to it. It wasn't good. Like,
Wasn't
you know what
the
I'm saying?
same,
Like, yeah, man, you just got to really kind of know your audience, and that's what happens with a lot of these rappers whenever it gets to that age, whatever. They're like, I've never done a live album before, or I've never done this before, or whatever like that. I wanna try to do this. Like, they don't, like, you know what I'm saying?
Try
they
to
solidified their fan base and they got their money and everything like that.
They try to
So now they're like
appeal to the younger audience and stuff.
right, yeah.
And it just doesn't work.
Right. Or they're like, either they do that, or they're like, okay, now I'm gonna do what I want to do now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Which is, I've never done this before, so I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's see here. Snoop Dogg. 17 is Tyler. Now Tyler shouldn't be rated this high. Me personally, I don't think he needs to be on this list at all.
I don't think Tyler the Creator needs to be in a top 50 list. Top 100, maybe. But even then, I think he's still maybe late 70s, late 80s, and stuff like that. I don't. I mean, everybody now, like all the millennials and like people a little bit older than me, they're all in his nuts because he just dropped his album and stuff like that. I'm sorry to break it to you, but Chromacopia is not that good.
No.
Compared to his earlier releases and stuff like that. I mean, dude, this dude has 10 to 15 features like on this whole album and stuff like that. If you have to carry off of the biggest rappers of 2024 to drop an album at the end of the year, I don't think that it's that good of an album. That's what makes it sound so good. Is that, oh, dude, you have to listen to this. You have to listen to this. Like, yeah, Tyler the Creator raps for like 30 seconds on that song. The rest of it is just the beat or it's some background singer.
Right.
It wasn't that good. Now his other stuff, Call Me If You Get Lost, Igor, that's pretty solid. There's some really good hits on that stuff. But that's it. It's just the hits. You can't just sit there and tap on the album and sit through the whole entire thing. That's what I don't like about him. A lot of people, they say otherwise. They have him as his favorite, but I just think that's I don't think he should really be compared to everyone else on this list.
He shouldn't be 17. That's for damn sure. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, he's different. I'll give you that. And he did have he came out on the scene. He had did 2 solid albums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever. But like you're saying, if you need that many features and stuff like that or whatever, then what's the point? You know what I'm saying? You might as well just call it a collab.
Yeah, right.
Or something like that. But anyway, all right, let's get Little Kim, 16. I would probably, she was, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj before them. You know what I mean? Whatever. So I would definitely put her on this list, but late 40s, something like that, whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe even top 100.
Strictly because she inspired those.
Right, exactly. People, the inspiration alone. You know what I mean? And she put on a couple of good songs. You know what I mean? All that. Number 15 is A$AP Rocky. Mm-hmm. I like A$AP Rocky. I think he, personally, one of my favorite from the newer era. Yeah. Whatever. But still, I think they have him rated a little bit too high. He probably needs to be like 30, something like that, or whatever.
I could see him with a mix in the 30s and stuff like that. I kind of give him a probably near Childish Gambino and stuff like that because he's 30s ish. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd put him around there. Yeah. But I mean, same thing. I like his flow. Pretty good. He's the guys that he raps with and stuff like that. Yeah. They don't take the shine from his albums.
Right.
Either,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He had some monster albums.
Yeah.
That came out. Whatever. Whenever he first hit the scene, for sure. Like 4 solid ones. I would think. For sure. Trilogies for sure. But anyway, next we got 14, which is Chuck D, which is public. He's from Public Enemy. If you're from New York and you kind of like that, but he's more awareness rap. You know what I'm saying? He's they got a song called 911's a joke. Mm-hmm. All this stuff like that, kind of just bringing awareness to the black community and stuff like that or whatever. Me personally, I mean, he deserves to be on this list, but maybe top 100, whatever, you know what I mean, or late 40s, you know what I'm saying, whatever,
more of what he did for the game.
Right,
that's
exactly.
What I kind of see. That's what I'm kind of seeing off this list. It's these people are it's just what they did, and it's not more so how good they are, and And like all the girls in this list, like they're good, but I mean there's only so much that they did,
right.
So there's only so high you can put everyone.
Yeah, right on. All right, let's see. Number 13, Missy Elliott. Like when she deserves to be on this list. Definitely not top 15. You throw her back, whatever around, whatever, around late 40s, mid 40s, something like that, or whatever. I can think of a lot more people that should be at number 13.
Yeah.
Number 12 is Notorious B.I.G. Notorious B.I.G. should be top 5 at least. He's on my top 3, but top 5 at least on everybody's list. That's just that. That's another thing that pissed me off about this list. He's put him at 12. That's totally disrespectful. This next guy, Andre 3000, I think probably one of the best lyricists, whatever. If in the game for sure. I would probably put him more in the group. You know what I'm saying? Era like the group, section or whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever with Outkast and all that stuff.
I think he did pretty good without Big Boy.
He did.
I think what he did for like his newer solo album, it was all right. I didn't really get to fully listen to it and stuff like that, but I heard snippets. I heard
the flute one.
Yeah, the flute one where it's like the first 30 minutes or is a flute or
whatever. The one where I kept on waiting for him to say lyrics.
Yeah, and dude, it's just I'd say I kind of heard about that one, but I mean that's one of those things that he's like he breaks away from his group, he breaks away from his crowd, and he's like, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't always work out for everybody.
Yeah, so now, man, like I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, but like that's not how you created your fan base.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
so whenever everybody else comes back to listen to him, they're like, oh, like that's what he's doing now.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll skip the next album. Whatever he releases from now on. I'll see you 3 stacks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, top. He should be in top 10.
For sure.
All right. So we're cracking the top 10 now. 10, they have Eminem. Eminem, I mean, he's pretty much, the coldest white boy, in the rap community. You know what I mean? Whatever. A lot of people have him rated a little bit higher. You know what I mean? Whatever. I'd put him in my top 10 for sure.
I think having him right at 10 is pretty respectable.
I think so too.
He's not. Because he's not too bad to where he should be like left with like 30s, 40s, and stuff like that. But he's not super good to where he should be in the 5s, Like he's, 10 is a respectable space for him, especially if for like, just what he did, and it's it's like a white boy growing up in the 2000s or whatever.
Right.
So just like whatever, just a white boy trying to sound like a gangster. Right. Get out of here. I don't think he would be as big as he is without Dr. Dre, though. That guy definitely helped him out. Got his name on the scene.
Right.
And like he came into the game with like a real like cocky attitude. He's like he sounds annoying. You're like you listen to his music and you're like, oh, that's good, but if I met this guy, I'd probably punch him in the face because it's like it sounds like he's talking trash to me.
No, 100%, and that's what he is. He's a battle rapper. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whatever, and kind of turned into like a lyricist, I guess. Yeah. Almost or whatever. I didn't like him when he first came out. Whatever, I thought he was annoying as shit. You know what I mean? But I didn't really start caring for him until like the Marshall Mathers LP. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even then he put Then he put out some like real shit albums.
His newer stuff is not good.
Yeah, and then he came out with the Recovery, and that's when I really started liking him. As the Recovery. But I mean, for having that, such a long span, and another reason is like he shocked the shit out of everybody because before that, the white rappers, they were jokes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't take him serious and everything like that. Whatever. So when he dropped,
that's why he came in with the cocky attitude.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like basically y'all gonna respect me. Basically, you know what I'm saying? But these next ones, I'm gonna tell you now, it gets real disrespectful. Yeah, they're on the top 10. I said, but some of the people that are rated above them, it just kind of really aggravates me. Yeah. They have Nas at 9. Like I'm thinking a lot of people, they should have him. Probably top 5. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they got him at top 3. You know what I mean? I mean, he's just great. One of the best lyricists. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, he did only have like maybe out of the whole top albums or whatever that he's got or whatever is maybe 1 or 2 that are like have like 0 skips. You know what I mean? One being Illmatic.
Yeah.
You know, whenever he wrote when he was 17 years old.
Which is crazy.
You know what I mean?
Especially to rap about
nuts,
the things
man.
that he raps about
Right,
at that
yeah.
age.
It's like, dude, what are you... Yeah, like, dude, no 17-year-old should be seeing the stuff that you're rapping about, you know? It's crazy. That, you know, that's what makes him so good, and I think that's what should be putting him on the top 5. But it is what it is. Number 8, Nicki Minaj. I like Nicki Minaj, but she should definitely not be ahead of Nas.
Yeah, definitely
for sure.
not.
Or Biggie, or Andre 3000.
Or anybody like 25.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Like, same thing. I like her. She did a lot. So I came in probably, 2000s?
Yeah.
Yeah. She did a lot, especially for women, you know, because like women, they don't really rap they weren't really rapping like fast and stuff.
No,
like
not at all.
And same thing when like the R&B conversation, I think she should try I think she would be a little bit higher on that list because she sings too, and her songs they have that real pop style to it. You know? Like, you know, like in Super Bass where she's rapping like super quick, it's that like pop, like kind of space type like beat to it, and it's like, you know, it's pretty cool what she does. I like it, but 8, right? Is what she at 8, right?
Yeah.
I mean 8. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think she would definitely be, if this was like you're saying, if this was like a R&B pop list, then I would probably put her right there.
Yeah.
Number 7, we have a very controversial one. At number 7, we have Kanye West. Now, Kanye West, me and Jason have been gone back and forth before many times. Whatever. There's actually a video. We went to the football game this weekend. We flew up to St. Louis, and then we picked up my uncle and my cousin, and then we drove to KC, you know, for the Texans game. And while we were doing it, we were talking about this list. Well, I just so happened to put the phone, record it, whatever like that, you know, and say I'm gonna drop it right here.
We were all getting along.
My 16-year-old daughter loves Kanye and you.
I'm telling you, bro. Nah, keep it real, dude. Keep it 100. He had like the trilogy, and that's it.
He does have a.
That's it, bro. That's it, bro.
Jesus,
he had
and
no. Bro, they had like maybe one good song on it, and he got carried by Rick Ross on that fucking Devil in a New Dress.
Only on that song,
bro. I'm telling you, bro.
I've never heard Jason defend somebody this hard.
I tell you what. The Carter 1, 2, and 3, all better than anything Kanye's ever done.
Absolutely, bro. Look, like
that is bold.
Like Jay-Z wouldn't be shit without Kanye's tracks. You know what I'm saying? I get that, but if you put somebody else on those tracks, they're not going to be as popular. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Jay-Z carried Kanye West like for a long time.
Look at Jay-Z. He's stunned. That is blasphemy. Blasphemy. I'm absolutely flabbergasted that you just said that, Kyle. Like,
this is coming from. I mean, I was getting trash talked by my brother Ryan. You know, his oldest son, and one of the guys that was saying that Chromacopia is a beautiful piece of art. You know, like so it was making me pretty mad from the guys that it was coming from, especially from, you know, like the people that know what they're doing, you know, and, you know, I did kind of get rage baited. They were definitely saying things that wasn't even true, and they were just trying to get reactions. But I mean, you know, I'm going to, you know, that's a hill that I'm going to die on, you know, and Kanye West, to me, at least, is my number 1. I don't put nobody else above him. Does he have some trash songs? Yeah, no doubt about it. Everyone does. But compared to everything else he released, bro, just his trilogy, the Graduation trilogy, is probably better than half of the people on this list, everything they put out. And then that's not even, and he doesn't even think those are his best albums. He thinks Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is his best album. Because whenever he talks about it in interviews, he's like, eventually it's not gonna, and you know, he's real cocky, you know, he's like, it's not me against any of these rappers, it's me against me.
Right, yeah.
You know, he's like, it's whatever new release against Graduation and College Dropout, and he's like, you know, what's gonna beat Dark Twisted Fantasy? And he's like, yeah, nothing's gonna beat Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like, man, he loves that album, and the thing about it is, he made a short film on it too, like, and it's just the music, and then just, you know, people dancing and him, you know, running and stuff like that. Like, if you genuinely sit back, listen to that album, and listen to somebody describe it, And like that is beautifully pieced together, stuff like that. And even the people he gets on it, he got Pusha T on Runaway, and that's the one where it made him rewrite the verse like 3 times because Pusha T was going through a divorce at the time, and the song Runaway is about being a jerk and stuff like that. And Pusha T was like, I don't know if I can do it. I'm just real vulnerable right now and stuff like that. And Kanye was like, come on, man, like get emotional here. Like this is what rapping is about. This is what that's about and stuff like that, And then eventually, they made the masterpiece Runaway.
Yeah,
I like him. Number 1 for me.
Man, that's bold, bro. That's bold, man. Like I don't know. I see him more as a producer. I guess with him coming up with Kanye West and Dipset and like all those guys, whatever Cameron or whatever that he had worked with and all this and everything like that. I mean, he made a lot of people great.
Yeah, and he does say that he has inspiration. He says that he has a Nas flow. Obviously, huge inspiration from Jay-Z. But I mean, but he made he didn't make Jay-Z. Obviously, he made himself. But I mean, like the blueprint and like everything else after that, like you could tell that it was kind of assisted by Kanye West.
No,
you don't
100%.
know, but like back then. You didn't know that was him on the beats.
Right.
You were just like, oh man, Jay-Z is so good whenever he came out with the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize whenever Kanye started making his own music and then he started talking trash about Jay-Z, he was like, yeah, go listen to the blueprint again and see how good I am just outside of rap.
And when it's crazy because whenever he dropped those trilogies, you know what I'm saying, and the light kind of went on to him or whatever like that, Jay-Z kind of disappeared and didn't do anything. Like I'm saying, he dropped a couple of albums that were like shit albums, whatever, because he didn't have Kanye on them.
Yeah, and he got upset with Kanye after he made Graduation because he made Big Brother, and that song was talking trash about Jay-Z because he only wanted him for beats.
Right.
And then, they made up now. They made the collab album.
I was about to say, they did the collab album, which was a pretty dope-ass collab album. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
But I mean,
it's one of Kanye's least streamed. I think that's mainly because it had Jay-Z and people
I'm sure. Yeah, because
that came out a little bit recently and he was done.
Yeah. At that time, the people that were listening to Kanye, they weren't listening to Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, I liked it.
Yeah.
Preferably, because after Kanye dropped the albums, whatever. When I first heard that Kanye was going to drop an album, I was like, man, this dude, all he does is produce.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Then I heard Jesus Walks.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, man, this dude right here.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying? I went through the whole album and then the whole trilogy. I'm just like, great. But I mean, I really, bro, like, I honestly think that I don't think that he's put out something that great since the trilogy.
Right.
I just don't think it. I don't believe it. I don't think it is.
Have your own opinions, stuff like that. You're
I
wrong,
will.
but you can have your own opinion. But you know my answer.
I would love to agree.
Yeah,
I would love to agree with you, but we'd both be wrong.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, number 6. We'll say we got Drake at number 6. I think that's a little too high. I mean, whatever. I mean, he's a lot of people would say that he's on their top 5. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't. I consider him being more R&B ish.
Yeah,
I guess almost. You know what I'm saying?
But I
whatever.
think he does.
But
he does a lot of everything, man. He does
right? Yeah.
rap, he does R&B. Kendrick just made him switch flows.
Yeah, now he's on some corridos, like Mexican, stuff, whatever. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
God, man, dude, the other dude's almost non-existent now, man.
Yeah, but I mean,
Jesus.
He's cool. I like him. He's probably in my top 10. I could see him in everyone else's top 10, respectfully.
I mean, he definitely has the numbers to prove it. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But I mean, I can't respect him, and I don't really like him because he used a lot of ghostwriters.
Yeah, too.
He's
pretty bad, and it's pretty known for that. But I mean, other than his past 3 albums, he's got like a hit from every single album, man. Like
100%.
First ones like that.
Yeah.
And he was coming out. He was super young. He was just coming off that what was that show, like the Degrassi?
Yeah.
And the same thing. No one knew who he was. It's just some light skinned kid that's gonna take the shine for a moment, and then he's done. And like, bro, now he's he's making millions just sitting back, And like,
he made so much money off of just like that. His first mixtape that everybody thought was an album.
Yeah,
it was like Thank Me Later or something like that, or no, So Far Gone or something like that, right?
So Far Gone, the very first one. Yeah.
But anyway, Yeah, so he definitely deserves to be on the list. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? Number 5 is Tupac. Tupac's he's on my top 3. I just for the things that he did, is lyrical wise, everything like that, whatever. Just, I mean, he's still putting out music to this day, and he's been dead, 30 years. You know what I'm saying, like that, or whatever. That he should be up there.
Yeah, I mean that's gotta
sure.
say something, like how we were talking about only being in the game for how long?
Right. Yeah. Man, maybe 5 years, 7 years, something like that, whatever. Not that long.
Yeah, and like just the stuff he released, and like and the storytelling, like people that listen to these rappers, they want to hear like the real stuff, because whenever you hear like these newer guys that are like thugs, it's like whatever, bro, just shut up, we don't care. And,
right. Yeah.
It's catchy, but this isn't. We know you grew up in the suburbs,
Yeah.
But I mean, like, this stuff, like, like genuinely getting it out the mud and stuff like that. Especially the guys that like been to prison, releasing music in prison, and then coming out and stuff like that. Like, bro, it's crazy to see what they do, and especially just a short span of time. I think, me personally, I know his hits, but I don't listen to him like that. But he should still be in almost everybody's top 10.
Yeah. The when I knew that he had made it is like, growing up out here in EMC, especially 30 years ago and stuff. It was which it still is to this day, but it's jacked up trucks and a lot of camo and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And bonfires and all that stuff, and George Strait and Garth Brooks and all this shit and everything like that, or whatever. I heard them playing All Eyes on Me, you know what I mean? Whenever it first came out, and I was like, man, this dude really made it. You know what I'm saying? For country people, whatever, so racist country people, for for him to be playing for Tupac, you know what I mean? I was just like, okay, yeah, man, this dude made it.
Did you hear it at Stetson's?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stetson's. I mean, everywhere, dude. Like that's when I knew that he made it, man. Yeah. You coming out of you hear it at a jacked up truck, whatever, sitting on 35s and stuff, whatever, and the guy's wearing a cowboy hat and all that. And I'm like, all right, man, I can do that. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, okay. Let's finishing off the list, whatever. Number 4 is J. Cole. J. Cole. He's probably on my top 5. I mean, just the people that he's worked with, his delivery, his metaphors. I mean, he's just great all around.
Yeah. I mean, J. Cole, the same thing. I'd say probably top 10, top 5 for me. It should be higher up there for everybody as well. But I mean, like, same thing, dude. Like his all of his albums and stuff like that. I mean, dude, it's like just good stuff. 2014 Forest Hills Drive. One of my personal favorite albums of all time. Probably top 10, 5 album for me at least. No skips, man. And same thing. He's telling stories. He can rap. He can rap quick. He can change flows. He can do R&B. Like I could see him solidifying himself as 10 on rap and R&B. Just because of his verses. He doesn't need features to carry himself on albums and everything like that. And I mean, his diss tracks, the ones he was coming out with during the Kendrick and Drake beef, they were like, he was having fun. That's what he thought it was, so it definitely didn't sound good. I'd like to see him kind of try, actually insult people. I think his lyricism could go a long way with that. But if you don't know about, the Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole beef, I believe it was Drake and Kendrick that made, or maybe Kendrick that made a song first, and then J. Cole kind of hopped in. He was like, "Oh yeah, guy, it's all fun and games," and Kendrick, kind of texted him, called him, whatever, and was like, "Yeah, bro, this is personal between me and Drake, so just kind of back up." And then J. Cole came out and made Grippy, and that was a pretty terrible song. But I mean, other than that, I like him a lot.
Yeah, I think he's good. I think he's good stuff. I think he puts out a lot of good stuff. Anyway, number 3, Lil Wayne. I was just talking to a buddy of mine today. He said that Lil Wayne will always be on his top. Yeah. His top favorite rapper is Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? Now he had one hell of a run. I mean, he's been doing it ever since he was 13. Whatever, it was with the Hot Boys, and then he came out, went solo, and all this, whatever, dropped the Carters, all that and everything, man. I mean, he had one hell of a run. Definitely should be, on this list for sure. Maybe top 10, whatever like that. He doesn't really crack my top 5. Yeah. I mean, he has some good songs. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, same thing. He kind of made that. He made that auto-tune rap, big. kind of rapping
Yeah.
with your grills in and stuff like
Right.
that, where it's like you can tell what they're saying, but like it's hard to understand. And I mean, like it's catchy, you know.
Yeah.
The stuff he makes is real catchy, and like and it's the same thing, you know. He makes the song like for the guys, he makes it for the ladies
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like Mrs. Officer, like on the Carters
Right.
and stuff,
Yeah.
you know, like. That's good stuff, dude. And that whole run, he's got what, like Carter up to Carter 5 right now.
I think it's Carter 5. Yeah.
I mean, dude. I mean, you know, everyone says 2 and 3 are the best, but all 5 of them together, man. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
a real good, you know.
Now
like,
they're
that
put,
run.
they're not rushed. They're put
Yeah.
together well,
Yeah.
you know. And then like whenever he discovered Drake and Nicki Minaj
Yeah.
and stuff like that, whatever, you know, and he was getting on verses with them.
Yeah.
He was a veteran at that time, but
Yeah.
he was still like keeping
Yeah.
up with them and
And-
like
yeah,
you know
of
what I mean,
course.
and you know going toe to toe with them.
Yeah, and I mean,
you know,
like,
so-
and they say, you know, like, there's stories about, like, you know, his features in the studio with them and stuff like that. He's definitely not a ghostwriter and stuff like that, because they'll see him, you know, they're in the studio smoking and stuff like
Right,
that,
yeah.
and then they're thinking, they're trying to, you know, make a song, trying to make a hit, and they'll see Lil Wayne, everyone's just sitting there all kind of quiet, and he's like, and then he just starts going, like he starts, like, you
Yeah.
know, like making his rap and stuff like that, just right off the top of his head.
Yeah.
And as, you know, producer, whoever it is at the time, he's like, yeah, all right, go get in the studio, go get in the booth.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like that's how it is.
Yeah, Notorious B.I.G. was like that too.
Yeah.
Like he didn't need any like paper.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He had
and that's what I think also solidifies you as a great rapper.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
if you
true.
can just say,
Yeah.
if you're making everything off the top of your head and then memorizing it as well,
Yeah.
like you don't even need to like write it down
Right.
or anything like that, or you're still changing your flows in the middle of like performing it and stuff like that. Like, man, that says something about you, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, let's see. Number 2, they have Kendrick Lamar at number 2. Now, I really honestly think that the only reason why he's at 2, you know, whatever it is, was because just this wave that he's riding right now. You know what I mean? Whatever, Not Like Us and all that stuff, and the beef. You know, I mean, everybody. I mean, talking everybody knows Not Like Us. You know what I'm saying? And the beef that goes. I mean, they've played it out so much. When he just dropped his new album, whatever. Which
Yeah,
is
with GNX.
which is controversial too. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, a lot of his fans, whatever, think that that's like the best album alive. But if
Come
you
on,
put
man.
that, if you put that up
to,
against
to Pimp a Butterfly,
right
Good
or
Kid, Mad City,
Good Kid, Mad
like,
City, oh my God, bro, it's garbage
yeah,
compared to
dude.
those two. You
And,
know what I'm
like,
saying?
That's
It's
the
like,
thing about like the features, dude. Like every single song has a feature.
Right,
man.
yeah.
Like it's like it's like with the newer stuff. Like what happened to just rapping by yourself? You know?
Yeah,
And now
yeah,
everyone's just like,
yeah.
man, I feel like if I don't get a feature, no one's gonna listen to me
Right.
anymore. You know? Like, so it's hard for him to well, not hard for him, but I mean, like I'd say, I think he kind of rushed GNX. I like it. You know, there's a few songs on there you can all sit down and listen to. It's got a more R&B type flow to it, though. I don't think that's his greatest rap album. You know.
right.
But I mean, yeah, I think that he was riding the wave. He was like, oh man, I'm big right now.
Let me drop this album.
Yeah, let me just throw this album out there and be like, boom, like everybody's gonna listen to it because everybody knows my name right now all around the world.
Right. Yeah.
So I think he's just trying to get his streams up, trying to make a little bit of cash off that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It worked. I mean,
yeah,
it
worked.
it worked because, and in the newer fans that he did get, I guarantee you, GNX is the first album that they listened to.
Yeah, I heard.
So they're like, man, this is really good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is his best album.
Yeah, but
and
that's
not even
people-
hearing.
But that's people that
good-
like R&B as well.
Right,
They're
yeah.
gonna be like, well, let me see what else he's got. They go to Good Kid, Mad City,
And they're like,
and
nah,
Pimp
yeah, I don't
Butterfly,
like
and
that.
like, oh, this guy's
Yeah, that's
he
trash.
makes gangster thug rap, whatever.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
Which is what I like out of him.
Right,
you know,
yeah,
and
me
I'm
too.
not even
Yeah,
about
nah,
that
that's
life.
100%. I don't think he should be 2, but I mean, he's 2 a
top
lot
10.
on the top 10 for sure. Because I mean, you put the top albums, right, and you have a vault that you're gonna put it up, whatever, time capsule, whatever,
Yeah.
for the future to hear. Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, one of those twos are gonna go in that vault.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what I mean? I mean, even Damn was pretty good.
Yeah,
I like Damn
and
too.
that was a newer one from my generation.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
that
Yeah,
was really good.
yeah. All right, so finish up this list. I am not mad at this guy for being number 1. I know a lot of other people are going to be upset with, with this number 1. So she did get one person on this list right, and that is Jay-Z. Jay-Z is definitely top 3, top 5. He's on my top 5. He should be on everybody's top 5 because probably more than half of these people that I listed, they recite Jay-Z in their verses. So I mean, that's definitely. I mean, being I guess from my generation, right? Jay-Z came out in my generation. He's still, trying to make, whatever.
He's
He just
trying,
dropped an
yeah.
album, whatever the 444 album. He just
Yeah,
dropped
and I
that.
was saying,
That was kind of like more your,
Yeah,
at your
nice,
time,
yeah.
whatever. What do you think? You think that she got it right or what?
I mean, I like him. Not fully my flow, but I'll go back and listen to it. I like the Blueprint. Whenever he came out with the Black album, like one of his earlier ones, that was really good. And then there's stuff in the middle, it kind of gets lost and stuff like that. You kind of can't keep track. You're like, this song's good, this one's alright. This album, you can kind of skip it.
Yeah.
But I mean, just his entire discography alone, man. I mean, I think he's pretty solidified at one for the hip hop heads and stuff like that.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, my top one. But Jay-Z definitely made Kanye West. Kanye West would not be here without Jay-Z. I can say that right now. I will say that confidently because, I mean, even if it wasn't Jay-Z telling him, be like, oh, yeah, let's record it, you rap on it and stuff like that, Jay-Z is the one that got his production level to where it's at, and he kind of lit that fire in Kanye.
Right.
It was like, yeah, just make my beats. That's it.
Right.
And then Kanye was like, all right, like, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
And I like that,
Yeah.
And their collab album, it's not too much of like Jay-Z, it's not too much Kanye. No one's taking each other's spotlight. They're going bar for bar and stuff like that. I mean, that's impressive for him to last as long as he did, especially with the 444 album. He has like an album after that, which it's just like a 20-minute song of like some fake broadcaster that's like breaking down his like music and lyricism and stuff like that. I don't know if you listen to it or whatever, but I mean, it's just a 20-minute song. It's not an album, but I mean, I'd like to see him release at least one more before he's done and stuff like that. Kind of appeal to your audience and appeal to my audience, I think he can, because I think that 444 album, obviously you and everybody else listening to Jay-Z is going to say that's his worst or it's one of his lower ones and stuff like that. But I mean, to my audience and the guys that are my age and stuff like that, they like it. It's like he gets R&B features on it to kind of distract them from his rap, and then like he's got Frank Ocean on that one, and I'm a big Frank Ocean fan. Definitely probably number one for like R&B if I had to make that list, but that's a whole separate thing.
I don't think that he's actually ever like put out a good album. I think the last like absolute best album that he put out, the last one that he put out or whatever, is probably the Black Album.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be his last one, right? I liked Holy Grail. Holy Grail was good.
Really good.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I mean, it had a couple of good ones on there or whatever, but most of them were kind of... I don't know, man. I think you like what you just said about like, my generation and all this whatever and the R&B and everything like that or whatever is the Kendrick scenario that we just used.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, because that's not the Jay-Z that I like.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? I like the Jay-Z, whatever, the Reasonable Doubt Jay-Z, the Blueprint Jay-Z, whatever. I don't like this new, And if you're asking me, this 444 album, whatever, I just think it was a makeup CD to give to Beyonce, like almost like a mixtape, whatever. It was an apology letter, basically, in the form of an album. You know what I mean? Whatever. So I don't know.
I mean, like the same thing with the Holy Grail, Magna Carta, right?
Magna Carta.
I mean, like, he got the song Holy Grail though. With Justin Timberlake.
Right?
Like, got
like
that R&B flow to like. Yeah. To distract the newer listeners from his rap, because nobody's listening to that anymore. A lot of people, they try to act like. Have you heard of Yeet? Mm-hmm. They try to act like he's good, and that kid's absolutely trash. Fake thug, white thugs from the burbs.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're trying to bring back like that thug and gangster rap and stuff like that, but no one listens to it anymore.
Right.
That like they're kind of done with it. It's like how they say with basketball, they're done with the '90s, and it's how it is. Like, that's almost how it is with rap. Now people that have parents like you, they're definitely gonna still come back to it, because I do every now and then. Obviously,
for sure.
It's just like R&B, newer stuff, today's stuff from 2015, 16. But I still go back to the 90s every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than the list, absolutely terrible.
Nah, 100%. I mean, I'm not mad at the people that are on it. It's just the freaking
I mean, I'd say so. I didn't write down any honorable mentions,
Okay.
but he did right here. So
Yeah.
we'll just kind of go through them. You know, we won't say, just kind of the guys that maybe could crack the top 50, or maybe some guys that
that
we
we're
just
that
think
we're
are pretty good. You know,
yeah,
Like,
or that we're thinking, or that you're thinking of,
yeah,
and and we haven't said.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You're
we-
probably thinking
yeah,
of
so-
somebody or whatever, and then as soon as I say them, you'd be like, yo, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever. Let's see. The honorable mentions, one of them, Chance the Rapper. Right. Tretch from Naughty by Nature. He's a great lyricist. Redman, another great lyricist. Killer Mike. Tech 9. KRS-One. KRS-One should definitely be on the top 50. I really think he got blackballed and pissing people off, whatever, you know what I mean? But half of these people wouldn't be on the list if it wasn't for KRS-One, as much as I don't like him either. But anyway, Scarface, which is on my top 5,
Yeah.
whatever, right? But talk about Houston, whatever, you have Big Mello that could be, if you know Houston, Big Mello, whatever, rest in peace. Another one is Big Mike, Chameleonaire, Devin the Dude. All these guys are just from Houston, right? Let's see. We have Joyner Lucas, right?
Say a big guy that we kind of found just kind of randomly, just kind of threw himself into the mix in
Right.
like 2010 to 2020 or something like that, and very good on the freestyle.
Yeah.
He's like one of those guys, like you see a big popular video of him freestyling on Instagram.
Yeah.
Let me give this a listen. I say if you haven't listened to it's an album and it's a phone number. It's like 1-800 something.
Yeah.
Definitely go listen to that album.
Yeah.
You know? But, I mean,
No, he's got good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it definitely should have made that list.
for sure.
Should have been,
Especially over some of the other guys
over
on
some
there.
people that are on there. You got Conway the Machine. You got Benny the Butcher. 21 Savage. That's another one.
Right.
Travis Scott, which we really didn't. That's one of your favorites.
Yeah,
whatever I
one of my
know.
favorites.
And I mean, the guy caused an earthquake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At one of his concerts. I mean,
I say his fan base alone can tell you
Right.
enough about it. If it's
Yeah.
bad enough to where people are getting killed, to where they have
Yeah.
to tear down
Yeah.
the gate to get into one of his concerts,
yeah.
that's saying something about
Yeah,
him,
for
like,
sure.
but I mean, that's the thing, he's like, it's like, he's a rager, so
Yeah.
he's gonna, and that's what kids want nowadays, they just want to go and get hype and do stupid stuff, so that
Yeah.
could be one of the main reasons he's popular. Me personally, Astroworld, No Skips, Utopia, great album. It's probably his worst, but then again, it's not bad,
Right.
because he's still got, Birds and Traps, Sing Brand McKnight, and then you got Rodeo. And Rodeo, one of his first albums is just really good. But still, like, even whenever he released that, nobody even knew about it or knew who he was until he
Right.
made Goosebumps and Pick Up the Phone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And but I mean, yeah, dude. Now, like, cause the rest of his discography, only after the 4 albums he has,
Yeah.
like that's good, bro.
Yeah. All right. If we're talking about streams, I would put like maybe Little Baby on it.
Yeah,
Whatever, because
Lil Baby,
whenever
yeah.
Little Baby came on the scene, I mean, like he had like probably half of his album, whatever, on the top streams.
Yeah, dude.
You know, and all that,
He,
whatever.
he,
So,
he
yeah.
released that big album with the, it's like the baby with like the slime and stuff on it. I forget
Yeah.
what it's called, but he released that whenever I was freshman, I believe. And
Right.
he did, no, man.
He's just been kind of going ever
Everybody,
since.
yeah.
He kind of disappeared here lately. He hasn't really put out anything, whatever.
Yeah. I
But-
think he just put out something new, like maybe like a week or two ago, or something like
okay,
that.
I
But
gotcha.
like, yeah, I mean, it's if you listen to him, you listen to that album and you like him and stuff like that.
Right.
Me personally, I just kind of listen to his hits, but I'll find a song from him every now and then. I like him.
I don't know. Let's see, you got Logic. Some people think that Logic, would be on the list just the way he flows, raps, and all, lyricist-wise, whatever, he's pretty good. Mac Miller, rest in peace. That's another one where I was listening to him before he passed away,
died, yeah.
but a lot of people didn't start listening to him
Yeah.
until he passed away.
Because people my age
but-
just started listening to his R&B after he passed away, But
Yeah.
I mean, I think his Rap Alone and
He's
his
good.
his kids album and stuff like that,
Right,
man,
yeah.
like, that's pretty good. And it's impressive. Another white guy rapping fast, stuff like
Right,
that,
yeah, exactly, yeah. Showing his
it's
chops,
cool.
yeah, for sure.
Man, it's cool to see,
Yeah.
And he tells the stories about, like, just being a stupid kid. He's not,
Right.
he's not talking about how he grew up, like, in the trenches or anything
Right,
like
so,
that.
yeah,
He's like,
you know-
I grew up, kind of privileged, but I was an idiot, so that's what I'm going to tell you about.
Right, yeah.
I still,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you're an old head like me, one of the innovators, Ice-T, he should definitely be on this list for sure. Another Latin rapper that I personally like, and I think he needs to be on this list, is Kid Frost. That's another one's on there. Joey Badass from New York.
Yeah,
I like him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He seems to be, on. I mean, he's been around for a while,
Yeah,
but he
it's kinda
just
one of
seems
those
like he's
guys-
almost kind of getting his recognition
Yeah.
now. He has a little fan base, whatever. But let's see, Too Short from California. He definitely, you can't say California music or whatever and not have Too Short on there. Q-Tip from a Tribe Called Quest, whatever. When he went solo. And badass lyricist, especially if you're from New York, you're definitely they're definitely gonna put him on the top 10.
Yeah.
Another one is New York native Harlem. Big L for him, man. He was basically at the same level lyrical wise and all that whatever as Jay-Z, right?
Yeah.
But he literally only got to put out one album.
Yeah.
And they still know him to this day and all that and everything like that. Man, I really big up to him. ODB, Old Dirty Bastard from Wu-Tang. Just his cadence and stuff and almost singing or whatever, basically with his raspy voice and all that stuff like that or whatever. I think he should be on there. XXX, Extension, for the stuff that he did or whatever in the short amount of time that he had done.
And dude, that kid was probably like 2 to 3 years,
Right, yeah.
And he was like, I know you and Mom, you didn't hear about him until he died, but I mean, like,
Right.
bro, me and Ryan, everybody else that I know and stuff like that, they were listening to him whenever he was still around.
Yeah, Ryan loves him.
He's one of those guys, like, a lot of people like say, oh, he blew up after he died. Like, bro, this kid had hits before he died.
Yeah.
People don't get that and stuff like that. He was like, that's like who Juice WRLD, like basically wanted to be,
Yeah.
like he was trying to make that like the rap and then the R&B, and then he kind of makes like that scream rap and stuff like that too, where he gets real angry and all that. You can tell like rappers nowadays are just picking up inspiration from everyone else, which is another thing I like about the top 50 is like if she did put the people that give inspiration to other rappers to this day, but I mean end of the day, the people that took that inspiration, they flipped it around and made it better, which solidifies them.
Yeah, for sure.
Which basically takes away their shine and makes them top 50.
Yeah, I agree with that. If we're talking about people that passed away and they're like people really didn't start listening to them until he passed away, Nipsey Hussle.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? I was a Nipsey Hussle fan before he passed away. You know what I mean? I really liked him, all that, whatever. Then he passed away, and then he just got glorified as this like best rapper.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
All of a sudden, some huge
right,
LA
like top 10 and all this,
stuff
whatever.
like that.
Top 5 or whatever. I'm like, take it easy on the top 5 because he's
Yeah.
definitely not top 5. But I mean, maybe top 50, I'd probably throw him on there for sure. Let's see, and then Kid Cudi for sure, man. I like Kid Cudi. I think every album that he puts out or whatever is different. It's it's put together well, and lyrical wise or whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever the psychedelic part of whatever of what he does with the different.
I mean, like, and same thing. I know a lot of people they classify him as like an R&B artist, and I could see him top 10 on there. But I mean, like, dude, that like, bro, everything he did for both R&B and rap, dude, is crazy. I mean, and the beats that he like raps on and everything like that, like, you gotta give him his respects. And there's definitely
100%.
a few guys on that top 50 list that Kid Cudi probably could have replaced.
Absolutely.
Whether you do classify him as R&B or not, But I mean,
absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I'd like to hear other people's opinions. You can comment down somebody
definitely.
who should have been on this list. You can comment down your top 5. Comment whether you think me and my dad are wrong or whatever like that. We can maybe have a little argument. Maybe you can come on the show, podcast, and we can, just kind of talk to you about it separately. Just, the whole discography about anybody you want to. Just let us know and, reach out. We're always looking at the comments. You can always DM on Instagram too. You want to plug your Instagram real quick?
Right, yeah, absolutely. It's a Small Circle Society O on Instagram. So just, hit us up, whatever, we are going to drop this. Let us know in the comments or whatever if you agree, if not, whatever like that, or if you don't, or if we forgot somebody on the list that you think needs to be on this list. If you're crazy like my son and think that Kanye West needs to be one, or you got somebody else that think that they deserve to be one, we'd love to hear from you. We're gonna drop this probably in the next day or so, and then we're gonna go live on the last Sunday of the month, and we're gonna recap this list. Like that, right? And then hopefully, you guys can chime in, whatever, and we'll talk about it live right then and there. So I think this is the way we're gonna do this from now on. This is the new format, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, we'll probably try to drop something at least once a month. You know, maybe twice, whatever. You know, we got a lot of things to cover. You know, today is January 20th. It's Inauguration Day. You know, Trump is in it. Whatever. You know, we can talk about that.
There's definitely
You know,
gonna
all
be a
that.
lot of controversy in this country for the
Definitely.
next 4 years at
Nah,
least.
yeah,
I mean, like
at
yeah,
least
I mean,
4 years for sure. You know what I'm saying?
so
You know,
there's always going to be something to talk about, and we especially don't want to go away from the whole reason we started this thing, supporting small local businesses.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, everyone
Yeah.
out there, dude.
Yeah.
Whether you've got something as small that you're selling T-shirts out of your house, that you're running a food truck, you have your own facility opened up where you have like a gym or a store, you know, anything that you
Yeah.
have just in, you know, this whole like East Montgomery County area. I mean, even if it's located a little bit towards Houston, we don't mind making the trip to your location. We can go live there. We can make a podcast there and stuff like that. Tell your story. Say just reach out. I mean, you know, we're always looking at for something to do over the weekends as well. So I mean, just we're up for anything. You know, just reach out and we'll get with you like right back in the next like 5 minutes as long as we're awake. You know.
Yep, for sure. 100%. Yeah, that's yeah, definitely. You know, we're all about, you know, supporting local and all this, whatever, you know, just hit us up for sure. It's like you said, you know, if you're just making T-shirts out of your garage, you know, or you own a Mexican restaurant, you know, shout out to Chris McGinnis, La Casita, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you turn that place around, whatever, go see him. Rusty Buckle at the best barbecue around, go see him. You want a haircut, whatever, go see my boy Anthony at Vintage Cuts right there. You want to get a workout in, whatever, go see my boy Jess Laywell at Castle Barbell.
Feeling for Italian food, go hit up Rosati's over there on North
Yep,
Park.
yep, for sure, yep.
Everything around here is now just becoming local owned and stuff like that. We just want to get your name out there, and you know, just give yourself a platform. You know, whatever we can do to help.
Or if you know, or if you're on here, whatever, you know somebody, you know what I mean. Just, you know, drop it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to my, you know, whatever brother-in-law or whatever, or something, whatever, you know, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So just let us know what you think of the new platform. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to have a different movie playing. Whatever, this week we chose Goodfellas. We plan on doing a, you know, whatever, you know, top movie list, or, you know, top actor list, or whatever.
Man, we got a lot of big things coming up for 2025.
Nah, yeah, 100%.
You're just going to have to stay tuned, you know, just rely on us to make videos, you know. We're going to try and hold each other accountable. I want y'all to hold us accountable, you know.
Yeah,
if we
for
miss
sure.
a day, if we miss a
Absolutely.
live, if we miss an upload, however we want to do it, once a month, every 2 weeks or something, hit us up on Instagram, comment on our last video, be like, hey, where's that new video at? If you need something to drop real quick, I'll come over in an hour and we can talk.
Yep.
And just let us know, you know, we get busy, we run out of, we have limitless ideas and stuff like that. We had a few ideas to go over today, and we just went over the top rappers for this whole episode. So, but with that being said, man, I think that's pretty good point to wrap it up on.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I'm saying? We always got an open chair here. You know what I mean? Whatever. I'll let you know a couple of days, whatever, before we're going to end up going live, or before we're going to do a podcast, and just drop a comment, whatever, or get in contact with us, whatever, on Instagram, or, you know, if you know my phone number, say, hey, I'd like to sit in on it. Hey, man, hey, I got a microphone. I got an empty chair right there. You know what I mean? So, anyway, speaking of small businesses, my son, if you know my son, whatever, he owns his own, or he's running his own basketball organization. It's called Small Circle Squad. What is this, your third year?
This will be coming up in my third year.
Right.
Right now I am currently recruiting, you know, freshmen and sophomore boys right now. So, I mean, if you got, you know, your boy that wants to come play, hit me up, hit my dad up and stuff like that. If you're questionable about it or whatever, and you need that trust, I can give you contact information to any of my last players for the past 2 years. I guarantee you'll hear good things about me, man. I mean, like, main reason I want to do this is I'm tired of the 60, 70-year-old coaches that are going to 5, 6A high schools and are just ruining the game. They're going about fundamentals, and they're just not teaching them anything that they need to be taught. You know, it's just the same motion plays over and over and over, you know, and I want these kids to be developed to where you can break away from the motion plays, stop being a machine, and go get a bucket, you know. Yeah, and with that being said, I'm also always looking for sponsors. So just small business helping out another small business. If whatever it is, I can do warm up T-shirts with your logo real big on the front, your contact information on the back. On their jerseys, I can maybe put your logo on a patch right here. Whatever you want, we'll make it happen. Contact us, and we'll figure something out.
Yep. And we'll go, we'll give them more details on that as the season starts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah. So we're for tryouts and all that and everything like that or whatever. We have an Instagram channel. It's Small Circle Infinity. So go on there, whatever. You'll see highlights and reels and stuff, whatever, and updates on there, and all that stuff and everything like that. So, but definitely, I mean, we want involvement on this thing. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm going to drop this, whatever, either today, or tomorrow, whatever. And then, what I said, we'll be going live, possibly this Sunday, probably maybe for a quick 30 minutes to an hour or whatever, just depends on, who's all going live. You know what I mean? I know a couple people are already talking about chiming in already and stuff and tuning in. So, but anyway, so
this is definitely this is going to be a longer episode for the year.
Yeah.
I say it's a lot of talking. We got to get back into the groove and stuff like that. We sometimes we forget that it's a podcast. We think we're at the dinner table and we just go on for hours.
Right. Yeah.
But, this is a longer one because we've got our intro, we got a lot of things to cover, and we got the whole outro that we have to cover and everything like that. We want y'all to still remember the message. We don't want to just hop back in like nothing just happened. We want to acknowledge everything. But, with that being said, I think this is a good spot to wrap up on.
Yeah, for sure.
Same thing, can't emphasize it enough. Comment on the video. Anything to get this out there, just because, likes, comments, interaction,
shares,
and everything,
all that,
shares, that just gets the video to more and more viewers and everything like that. So not only is it helping us, but eventually if you want to come on an episode, it's going to help you whenever we're getting 1,000 views for every video and stuff like that. So like it, even if it's just a comment, like you comment thumbs up or comment your favorite rapper, or comment, good job, whatever it is, anything helps.
I appreciate everybody, staying with us, that whatever, you know what I mean, and sticking with me, you know what I'm saying. I know a lot of people would come up to me and was like, man, when you're not doing podcasts no more, all this and like that, whatever and stuff, you know what I'm saying. I apologize for that. I really appreciate the support from the bottom of my heart, whatever. I want to thank everybody for pushing me, continuing me to to do this, whatever, and we're looking for a great, looking forward to a great year.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, we want you guys to stay tuned, stay safe, stay solid, and keep your circle small.